one of my direct subordinates, one of my guys that worked for me, he would call me up or pull me aside. Some major problem, some issue that was going on. And he'd say, boss, we got this and that and the other thing. And I'd look at him and I'd say, good. And finally one day he was telling me about some issue that he was having, some problem, and he said, I already know what you're going to say. I said, well, what am I going to say? He said, you're going to say good. He said, that's what you always say.
Look at what has become the single most dangerous city in that country for U.S. forces. An hour
we
west
went
of Baghdad,
into a city that was being controlled by the most sadistic, evil, subhuman people that you can imagine.
We got in a gigantic gunfight the very first night that the task unit arrived.
Friendly's on the roof, easy extension, over.
I had SEAL machine gunners who had been on, this was their third deployment to Iraq, who had never fired their machine gun in combat, and they were dumping hundreds of rounds off the rooftop. Day one.
They were raping, torturing, skinning people alive, murdering whole families, beheading people, when this massive force of U.S. coalition and Iraqi forces went into that city and liberated those people from control of those insurgents.
That's a fucking normal day in Ramadi.
If you ask the average SEAL, what is our mission in Iraq, they would have said, kill bad guys. But what Jocko realized was that our mission wasn't to kill bad guys. Our mission was to stabilize the city of Ramadi, secure the local populace, and ultimately helping these local people stand up for themselves.
You know, for me, it was my lifelong dream to be in combat. Ever since I could remember wanting to do anything of any substance with my life, I wanted to be some kind of a commando. I was extremely happy and motivated that we were going to Ramadi because it was the worst place in Iraq, and that is exactly where I wanted to be my whole life. So yes, I was fired up to go there.
An Iraqi tank, very scary thing.
And I hung around with a bunch of guys that thought the same damn thing as me. Let's get after it.
You wake up at 4 o'clock or around 4 o'clock in the morning. What's that about? What's the philosophy of the 4 o'clock?
When you wake up early and you get a jump on the day and you've got your workout done and you've got a little bit of work done.
Yeah.
By the time normal people are getting up, that's a win. Things are going bad. There's going to be some good that's going to come from it.
What does discipline really mean? You know, besides waking up early, and how do I employ it to all aspects of my life?
People ask me all the time and they're surprised that I work out without caffeine in the morning. But I'm telling you, give it a try.
Yeah.
Because it'll be harder. Maybe it's harder for you to get out of bed. Maybe it's harder for you to get ready. Maybe it's harder for you to get into the gym with no caffeine. And maybe it's harder for you to start your workout with no caffeine. But once you start the workout, I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal. And if it is, good. Physiologically impossible to do burpees and remain tired. That's a psychological win. And it's not just a psychological win. It's an actual win. It's an actual win. So that feels great. It doesn't feel great maybe when your alarm clock goes off, but by 8 o'clock in the morning and you've already accomplished some of the major tasks that you have, some of the most painful tasks that you have for the day, you're off to a great start and it's going to feel great. Hey, and by the way, go to bed earlier at night.
Yeah.
Didn't get the new high-speed gear we wanted? Good. Go to bed earlier at night. I go to bed like usually around 11. I don't recommend that. I don't recommend going to bed at 11 and getting up at 4:30. No, I don't recommend that. I recommend going to bed when you get tired shut your computer off, stop looking at the interwebs, and go to sleep. You know what? Go read an actual book, because that makes you tired.
For that moment, and you let that weakness keep you in bed, you fail. Though it seems small, that weakness translates to more significant decisions. But if you exercise discipline, that too translates to more substantial elements of your life.
Sometimes, even if you're the most highly motivated person in the world, that grind starts to beat you down a little bit. And that's when you have to stop looking at the short-term thing, because that's not getting you to get it done. And you got to look, okay, what is the long-term goal that I'm looking at? What am I really trying to get done in the long term? And you say, oh, you know what? I'm actually waking up today early so I can be ahead of the curve, so I can sell more of these widgets or whatever, so that I can buy a house. And you know what? Today matters. Today matters. This decision that I'm making right now is that first step. It's me taking one stroke, swimming in the right direction, heading towards the shore.
Discipline.
And if I don't take this, I'm not making any progress.
It does start with waking up early. It really does.
But that is just the beginning.
I don't care how good you are in anything. You don't have discipline, you ain't nobody.
Right.
You're nothing without discipline, because you give up under the slightest struggle without discipline.
100%.
Didn't get promoted. Good. More time to get better.
Be successful at anything. The truth is, you don't have to be special. You just have to be what most people aren't. Consistent, determined, and willing to work for it. No shortcuts.
Discipline is doing what you hate to do, but do it like you love it.
Doing what you hate to do, but do it like you love it.
And I always say that discipline is the root of all good qualities. But you have to absolutely apply it to things outside of just waking up early. It's everything. It's working out every day, making yourself stronger and faster and more flexible and healthier. Discipline is eating the right foods to fuel your system. It's about disciplining your emotions so you can make good decisions. It's about having the discipline to control your ego so your ego doesn't get out of hand and control you. It's about treating people the way you would want to be treated. And doing the tasks that you don't necessarily want to do, but that you know will help you or help your team. It's about facing your fears. It takes discipline to face your fears so you can conquer them.
Oh, mission got canceled? Good. We can focus on another one. Didn't get funded. Didn't get the job you wanted.
Okay, Jocko, one piece of advice for someone who's thinking about whether it's waking up early or just having more discipline in their day. One piece.
Okay. Discipline equals freedom. We all want freedom, right? We all want to have freedom. We want to have financial freedom. We want to have more free time. We want to have physical freedom. That's what we want. Everyone wants freedom, of course. But if you want to have freedom in your life, the way to get to freedom is through discipline. That's how you get there. So if you want to be financially free, you have to have financial discipline. You have to save your money. You have to work hard to earn more money. You have to not buy stupid things that you don't actually need, right? You need to save that money and invest it properly. All that takes discipline. And if you have that kind of discipline, you'll end up with more freedom. If you want to have more free time, everybody wants more free time. But if you want more free time, how are you going to get it? You have to have more disciplined time management.
And I know that it can be very, very frustrating to try and become disciplined.
When you get done doing something that's a complete waste of time, how do you feel at the end of it?
Right, terrible.
Yeah. You feel happy while you're doing it. Oh, this is kind of fun. This is stimulating my brain a little bit. And then you get done with it and you realize that you could have done something productive and you don't feel good about it.
I was just explaining to this guy why I eat buckets of cold oatmeal every day, because I don't care about it. It's just healthy and I feel good all day.
Oh yeah, that's a great example, because everybody knows that when you're eating that cheeseburger, I mean, come on, that thing tastes so good. But literally, how bad do you feel 38 minutes when you've got done eating a cheeseburger and fries? You're suffering. You feel horrible.
What about the people that blame circumstance for not being able to take ownership and build that discipline? So they're just constantly like pointing outside themselves. How do they like acknowledge that, no, I have the opportunity right now?
You don't get discipline from your parents, from your grandparents, from your older brothers and sisters. You don't get discipline from an external source. You have to get it from you. That's what self-discipline is. You get it from yourself. You get it from you.
Yeah, that's the fundamental core of where this is a problem, is when people look around and they blame, if they're in business, they blame the market, or they blame their competitors. If their personal life, they blame their family, they blame their parents, they blame everyone else, and they never look at themselves and say, you know what? Maybe it's not this is my fault, but what can I do about it?
Got injured. Sprained my ankle.
Got tapped out? Good. Got beat? Good. You learned. There's people from every possible background, from no parents to crazy parents to, drug addicted parents to super squared away parents, and everywhere in between on that spectrum, that are completely disciplined people. More disciplined than anyone I know. It doesn't come from your parents. You don't inherit it. And there's another piece here.
And that's what discipline is. Discipline,
it's called ownership.
Taking the hard road, the uphill road, to do what's right for yourself and for other people.
If you don't take ownership of the problem's not going to get solved. So if you blame your parents for not having raised you in a disciplined environment, you're not going to solve that problem. You're looking at your parents saying, if you would have done a better job being more disciplined for me, I would be more disciplined now. So that means you can't do anything. The fact of the matter is it's wrong. You actually can do something. And it doesn't matter how your parents raised you and brought you up. You can have the discipline you need to decide to do it.
So often the easy path that calls to us to be weak for that moment, to break down for that moment, to give in to the desire and the short-term gratification.
Unexpected problems? Good. We have the opportunity to figure out a solution.
But the discipline will not allow that. The discipline calls for strength and fortitude and will. It won't accept weakness. It won't tolerate another breakdown. The discipline can seem like it's your worst enemy. But the reality is, discipline is your best friend. It will take care of you like nothing else can. And it'll put you on that path. The path to strength and health and intelligence and happiness. And most importantly, don't get all bummed out, don't get startled, don't get frustrated.
If you can say the word good, guess what? It means you're still alive. It means you're still breathing. And if you're still breathing, well then hell, you still got some fight left in you. So get up, dust off, reload, recalibrate, re-engage. It'll put you on that path to freedom. And go out on the attack.